feel like we've been podcasting for centuries or something.
Yeah. I know, it's like the apocalypse outside. We're going to come out and all the libraries are going to be destroyed and we won't have classes. I know.
It's like the Library of Alexandria all over again. That was a crazy thing that happened.
Yeah.
Like all of the world's knowledge, like the greatest things in the world, destroyed.
Did the Greeks not know about backing up your hard copies? I mean, come on.
That was the hard copy. There was a hard copy.
So we just need to find the ancient Greek internet and then we'll be good to go.
I think it's underground with the mole people.
Yeah.
I think that's where it is.
They've got the path. Oh, yeah, it makes sense. The mole people would be the IT people of the Greek.
Totally. Underappreciated.
Yep.
Yeah.
Sitting underground.
They have all the information.
That's how Atlantis started. It was one of those offshore data centers, and it sank, and they're just like, we got the data.
We got the data. Can I call this podcast We Got the Data?
We got the data.
We got the beat. We got the beat.
No, you have the beat. I got the beats.
Oh, you have beats and I have one beat?
Yeah, well, I have diabetes.
Oh, shit. That's an unfortunate way to start the podcast because, yes, we have started it.
Yep.
And Nathan Martin's here today.
Hi. Good to see you again, Carlos.
Good to see you.
It's been too long.
It's been way too long. Like a year or something?
I think so, at least.
Jeez.
Yeah. Not even, it's funny. I figured we would have crossed paths in one of the many events that we go to or host.
Oh, yeah.
And I think the last time I actually saw you was at Raygun when you hosted a live podcast with Kelsey and,
That's right.
and a couple other people.
Yeah, the Video Game Break.
Yeah.
Which is still a good show, and I really appreciate it, and I thank everybody who came out and was on that show. I want to say this real quick. Didn't talk about this pre-podcast because we had a couple of drinks and some pizza at the A Pizza Mart, which is a great place.
Oh, yeah.
If they want to give us some money.
A Pizza Mart.
They don't need to give us money. It's a great place.
Give us pizza.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, by the way, look what I have. Video game pizza shirt.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's under a shirt, so it doesn't really make a difference. But
it's a secret pizza.
It's a secret shirt, secret pizza shirt. I started podcasting again. I'd podcasted before in the past in San Francisco, but I started podcasting again because of you.
Because of me?
You, Nathan.
Really?
I literally came back in 2014 to Seattle from being an SF and doing crazy things. Google, you'll find it. And I was like, what should I do? I like video games. I worked on a lot of different things. I did call a lot of things back then. I know. Yeah. But I was like, well, let me go on this podcast this guy has. He seems cool.
That was the Seattle Retro Gaming Podcast, now defunct.
Pow.
Don't look it up.
Wait, I can take back my pow. Never mind.
It's blank.
Blank. Nothing there. Blank. 404.
Yeah.
No, so I went on that with Kinsey, you and Kinsey.
And Rob.
And Rob was there.
Now the director of the operations at the Living Computers Museum.
I was going to say that.
Famous plug.
I love the Living Computer Museum. If you're in Seattle, go to it.
They're doing amazing things, and a lot of it is because of Rob. He's a fantastic networker, and he has made some amazing things happen there. They have they had like a Back to the Future night there, and they have this awesome little 80s arcade setup. Have you seen that?
I have, yeah.
You go in, and they've got like the shag carpet and the old TV and some arcade machines.
It's so cool.
Yeah, Rob's doing an amazing job there.
Yeah, I appreciate it, and I appreciate that podcast because that's how I basically decided to do podcasting again.
That's awesome. Wow.
Yeah.
I'm flattered. I'm really happy that my crappy attempt at making a podcast to try and promote our Seattle Retro Gaming Expo inspired somebody to do something cool.
Well, here's what it is. I think we talk about this actually pre-podcast as well, but when you kind of go and do something, and if you have that kind of fire that burns in you to do something, things happen that you didn't expect. People can have a lot of different takeaways from what you're doing, even though you might think it's shit or you might think it's okay or whatever. But then it does influence people. Like people get affected by a lot more things than you think.
Yeah. I have experienced that a lot recently, and I know we'll get into kind of what I'm doing and the things that are happening in my life right now. But recently, because of what I've been going through, I've been calling it cashing in karma checks because I've spent a lot of time in the last 10 or 15 years creating things that I want to exist. And I think that that's really, it's another way of saying that if you're passionate about something, it will be successful. But the way that I like to think of it is if you want something to exist and it doesn't, you should make it happen. because if you want it to exist, chances are many other people want it to exist as well.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that can create these ripple effects, which is similar to the butterfly effect and all that stuff.
Yeah.
It might sound crazy, but it's true. And all of a sudden, a lot of things exist because of Seattle Retro Gaming Expo.
The Seattle Retro Gaming Expo brought a lot of great things together. It brought people together. I know people have used us as references to get good positions at companies. On a personal level, it's inspired me to create the question block, which is my monthly video game pub quiz, and that's going really well. So I'm really happy about that. And that desire to see something that doesn't exist is what led to the Kickstarter that I'm running.
Which you can go right into right now. So let's talk about that.
Okay.
Your Kickstarter. Let's start with that.
How pluggy do you want me to be? I can give you the spiel if you want.
Pluggy as you want. Plug it up.
All right.
Plug all the... No, I don't want to say that.
Do you have an industrial toilet? Because I'm going to plug it up.
Wow, I was going a different way, and you went with a different way, and now I don't want any of the ways.
Well, I'm not eating very well during this Kickstarter.
By the way, we could have a separate
Buy
podcast.
my table, by the way. Let's talk about my body habits.
Let's do that. But we could have an intestinal problem issue podcast, because I have problems.
Well, does a bear shit in the woods? Because our company, Wooded Realms...
Wow.
I don't know where to go with that.
I don't either.
Please disregard that if you're planning on buying a table.
So it's Wooded Realms, as in wooded, like...
Yep, like
WODED, wooded.
Yep, Forest Realms here. If you are watching the
video version, you get a treat.
You can see our little postcard here. So Wooded Realms is the company that I've started with my business partner, Michael. He is a family friend that I met over dinner one night who owns a factory in China. And his factory produces office furniture. They've done projects large and small for personal and business. They mostly do corporate production for furniture in factories in China. And he has been interested in doing something in America for a while. And over dinner, we got to talking, and he said he wanted to do something in America. And I said, well, there's all these ideas that I have and things that I would love to see exist. But the one thing that fit his profile the best was this board game table. This idea that you could have a table that's dedicated to board gaming, but is also affordable and something that would actually go into like somebody who owns a 2-bedroom apartment or a small home.
I was just going to say, like, everybody wants that, but can they put it in their place?
Yeah, and I don't mind saying that Geek Chic was really one of the inspirations for this because they had just the most beautiful tables. They were at PAX every year.
Yeah, I remember them.
They're another local company, and their tables were just amazing. But they were these giant 4x8 beasts that were dedicated to playing board games. And they were so nice and so expensive that, I almost didn't even want to play a game on them. If I had one in my home, I'd be like, no drinks. Don't bring your drinks near this table.
Coasters or you're not even near it.
Everything is in plastic.
Yeah.
And as much as I love that idea, A, I didn't have the space for it, and B, I didn't have the money for one. So our goal with the Wooded Realms table was to create something that could function as a kitchen table or a dining room table, something that could take daily abuse.
Oh, that's so cool. I think I didn't realize it until you just said that.
Yeah, I mean, that's really
the dual
the goal.
usage is great.
Yeah. If you look at the table, when the cables are unplugged, the lights are turned off, the leaves are on, and the accessories are stowed away, it's a table-ass table.
Yeah.
It just looks like a dining room table, nothing you have to explain to neighbors or parents.
Right. Why do you got that over in the corner?
Exactly.
Dice? What are you, D&D person?
Yeah.
Get out of here. By the way, this is the person who says that. Seriously.
Because everybody has an aunt like that.
Yes, yeah. You're spending too much time in the basement, Harold.
Yep.
Get out of here.
To my dad, every game is Donkey Kong. Wait, are you playing Donkey Kong again? God.
Haven't you got that monkey yet? Isn't he falling down?
Dad, the goal's not the monkey, it's the princess.
Yeah, and there's all these barrels. You would understand, Dad. So no, I love that idea. And when you showed it to me first, and I saw it on Kickstarter, I was like, that makes sense. Gaming tables, it fits you. Board gaming, games, video games. It makes sense for Nathan to be involved in this project. But that adds another element.
Yeah.
And it's probably why you're so successful right now, because what is that right now?
We're 10 days in, I think, maybe 8 days. And we are sitting at $230,000 for our Kickstarter. Yeah, that's great.
That's
very
a money
happy about
business.
That.
Well, that's actually really important because you need all that because these are things you've got to make.
Oh yeah, for sure. One of the reasons, so if any of the listeners are familiar with board game tables, they will know that most of the tables you can find today cost thousands of dollars. they start with a deposit of $1,000, and they take months to deliver because they're handcrafted. They're put together by artisans who use the highest quality of Brazilian rosewood, and they look fantastic, and you can give them to your kids when you die. Our table's not about that.
Right.
Our table's about, like, your kid's going to run into the corner of the table with his head and put a dent in it.
Yeah.
So we want nice hard wood. You know, your kid will heal, but the table, if it gets a dent, it's...
I love how the kid is secondary in that story. Listen, he'll have a gash in his head for the rest of his life. But anyway,
but you can wipe the blood off.
You can wipe the blood off. No, that totally makes sense, and that again is why I feel like it's doing well right now because it's functional too.
I think so. Yeah, it's been really interesting because as much as I have enjoyed doing public events like the Seattle Retro Gaming Expo and PAX and SoccerCon, a lot of that is me standing behind a desk and watching people enjoy themselves, which I love doing. I love having my library available to people so they can enjoy the games that I enjoyed when I was a kid. But this is different. This is where we have fans coming in and engaging and asking questions and being involved in the process. We've made changes to our Kickstarter because of things that people have asked for. We've introduced a new size for the table because people have asked for that specific size. And as a result, we have people that really feel invested in the project and they feel like they're part of the community. And that's exactly what I wanted to have from this table.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing in general, for brands. And I don't want to make it about, like, you're a brand. I mean, you are, but
yeah. But we're a community.
You're a community.
We really want people to feel like they have ownership over this table.
Right, and I think that's huge for. I mean, a lot of companies could take basically a cue from that. Is what I'm saying. Or this idea that, hey, you want someone to be into your stuff. Well, then really surround yourself with a community about this thing, and be for the community. Like you said, you're like listening to what they say for input. You're listening to, you know, how you can make these things better. And so then they really do feel invested.
Yeah.
You know?
And not to get too much into shill territory, but what we're doing with the Kickstarter is we have an early bird special that's going on right now. I think it's going to be on for another 7 days as of this recording.
This will be going up not till next week.
Okay, so like 3 days.
Oh, hurry
Better
up.
hurry.
Hurry up.
2 or 3 days left. But the early bird is $500, and that includes, like, literally everything you need to really enjoy this table. It includes, of course, the table itself. It comes with a reversible playfield. So on one side is going to be a felt material, velvet or something we haven't decided yet. That's foam padded, and you're going to be able to choose the color. It's reversible, so there's going to be a smooth side with, I think, bamboo on the other side. We're still working on that material as well. It's going to come with a clear acrylic sheet that fits the entire playfield area, and it's going to be all removable, so you can take it out. It's also going to include all of the four leaves that you can place on the table to convert it into just a dining or kitchen room table. Those leaves are going to be gasketed and lead spills and liquids to a gutter system, and the gutter will redirect the liquid out of the table and underneath it, so it'll protect your playfield.
Yeah. I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah, I mean, it was very important for us to make this table as functional as a living room, or excuse me, a kitchen table or a dining room table.
Yeah.
As a gaming table, and that was key to it.
That's huge for just like a table.
Yeah.
That's like a helpful thing to have.
Just protecting things. Yeah. So
you literally earlier spilt water over there on a table. It has no thing to catch
gaskets.
the water. No.
There's no gutters.
That water's just sitting there.
Yep.
It's mocking us right now. It's like, look at me, look what you did.
That's an advertisement for my table. It's like if you
had
a Wooded Realms table.
Yep. You wouldn't have had water looking at you the whole podcast. It's right over there. I can see it.
I know.
Silly water. Oh, that sounds great.
It comes with the leaves that are on the table and the gaskets in the gutter system. It also includes accessories. So there's 4 of these dice shelves that are.
I was going to ask about that.
They're removable and they slide out. You can put them in different positions around the table. It comes with 2 double cup holders for the long sides of the table, so you can have 2 people on the sides. 2 single cup holders, which are for the short sides and people sitting there. And it also includes 8 USB ports, 2.0 amp USB ports.
Oh, wait, this is getting better as you talk about the table. I was about to shut you off and be like, okay, listen, we get the table already. But now USB.
Oh, yeah, it's got USB ports. It has 2 AC adapters for plugging in your laptop or charger. The table can be unplugged, and then the plug can be capped. So if you don't want to tell people why your table is plugged in, you can just.
Oh, well, they can just get over it.
Yeah, they can get over it. But if you don't want. Like I said, it's for your parents. When their parents show up and they ask, why is the table plugged in? Are you playing Donkey Kong on this table?
You're playing Donkey Kong, and I know you are. That monkey is already dead.
You can unplug it. and it just looks like a kitchen table. But you still have the benefits of these more expensive tables. And our goal was to include all of this stuff. And the final thing that it includes is a RGBW LED strip that's embedded inside the table. And we've actually hidden it inside the table so that what you see is the refracted light. So no matter where you sit, you're never blinded by an LED light.
Oh, right.
But
it's just kind of like an ambiance to the
it
table?
Does, yeah. And like, I mean, I'll be honest with you. If I was buying a table like this, I would not spring extra for the LEDs because I'm like, why?
Yeah.
But when you include them, it becomes this kind of neat little thing that you can show your friends once, you know, and then it does add ambiance. For example, we were playing Forbidden Island. Are you familiar with that game?
Yes.
Okay. So with Forbidden Island, for people who don't know, it's a cooperative game where players are trying to collect treasures from a playfield that they lay down. The playfield is actually cards that they place. And as the game goes on, portions of the board become, quote-unquote, underwater.
Yeah.
They get flooded. And so you could set it up so that the lights are green during gameplay, and then when somebody draws the card that raises the floodwaters,
blue,
you tap a button and it flashes blue, and you get this like
so cool.
fluctuating blue look, and then you can go back to the green color. So
or like you're playing Arkham Horror and it's like all red.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's like creepy.
Or D&D, and you can set like a lava feel, or you can do like a wooded forest, like a wooded realm.
Wooded realms. It's all coming together.
So the LED is really cool. It's a nice feature, but it's I would call it a nice to have. You know, some people want it, some people don't. If you don't want it, you don't see the LEDs ever because they are recessed. You only see the refracted light.
Right. They're not like out there like Christmas lights.
And we have plans. I haven't announced any of this stuff yet, but we have plans for that little strip there. So it's not just going to be a space on your table that you don't know why it's there. You will be using it for other purposes.
Oh, coming soon. Okay, what's the base level to get in?
So our Kickstarter is for the core table. We're calling it the standard. That includes everything I just talked about. No, there's no additional pricing for any of that stuff. You get everything for $500.
$500.
Yep.
500 bones, you get the whole dang thing. Oh. I mean, what people buy tables, how much are tables?
Exactly.
Like a couple $100 for a table.
My goal was to make this table a table that you would buy just on its looks as a kitchen table for $500.
Right. Because here's the thing. When you become an adult, all right, young people who are listening, because there's definitely a bunch of them. One, it sucks. No, I'm sorry. It's pretty good. But,
it's a mixed bag.
It's a mixed bag.
At
it's
best.
A very, very apt. But here's what happens. You start realizing you have to buy furniture. You go, wait, what the fuck? It costs $800 for a couch.
Yeah.
You're like, that shouldn't be the right price. And like, there's some for $500. But you know what I mean? Like, you're going to spend.
You can get a futon, but you're not an adult if you have a futon.
Right. And you go
no
buy.
No offense to the futon owners out there.
Oh, well, offense to your back because it's terrible. I'll tell you what, you also look for a bed and you're like, oh, it's a lot of money. So this goes along with, it's like adulting almost. Like, you want to buy a nice table. Also, you got some nerd qualities, which we all love on this podcast. Why don't you do both?
It eases the pain of adulting by charging you $500 for a table, but you can play cool games and turn on your LED lights.
All right, chill is over.
Yes.
But that was a good show. I think we did a good show. And I like the product, and I'm going to back it.
And that's our show, folks.
And that's our show. We're done with the whole show. That's funny, because that's true. We are done with the show. Hey, I have you on the show. I wanted to bring up this one topic before we get into things that we're into.
Sure.
We both have done, literally, you've produced video game conventions. I have been at all of them. I'm sure you've been to a ton. Do we think, we hear this every year, the death of E3. It's less people here this year than ever. It's definitely over this time. That being said, there's a ton of other new shows and a lot of local shows, which we know, PRG and a bunch of them. Rose City was the other day.
Yep.
So there's a ton of new shows, I feel like, that are local based, not as big, smaller. PAX is still going strong, but E3 does seem like on a decline right now because I was there last year and it was less.
Mostly empty.
Most empty. So what are your thoughts on E3? Is it, really truly dead, or is it just kind of going through a cycle? And B, are game conventions on the decline or rise?
Okay. That's an interesting question because I have an opinion about that.
Well, I'm glad I asked.
So when people talk about the death of E3, I think that's looking at E3 from one perspective. And that perspective is that idea that E3 is a consumer event. And really E3 was not ever meant to be a consumer event.
Right.
You know, you were supposed to be industry. You were supposed to pay to go to these conferences that talked about like distribution and how to court retailers. And the show floor was for journalists to go and preview these items, and for retailers to preview these items and decide what to buy for the coming, you know, season, holiday season or whatever.
Like product.
Yeah.
Not like reviews.
It's a trade show.
Yeah.
And I would say that as a trade show, E3 is kind of dying. Yes, absolutely. But as a consumer show, E3 is this little blossom that's just starting to open up.
Interesting. It's morphing.
Yeah, and what you're seeing is this decline of retailer attendance and retailer pricing and sponsorship, and the rise of you know, the social media aspect and influencers attending this show that has this cachet of being this elite exclusive experience.
Right.
And I think we're at that valley right now where the retail and the trade show attendance is at its zenith. No, apex? No, zenith.
Apex is high, zenith is low?
It's at the valley. It's at the bottom.
Yeah.
And the consumer aspect of it has not risen to its full potential yet. So it feels like E3 is dying, but really it's transitioning.
It's a rebirth then.
It
that
is.
makes sense.
And but you know, all that being said, I cannot say whether or not the growth of E3 as a consumer event will continue to grow.
Right.
You know, it might be that PAX. Well, I personally believe that PAX has already taken that space, and E3 is playing catch up at this point.
Well, for one thing, PAX has many shows, right? So like PAX is PAX South, PAX East, PAX West, PAX Australia, PAX one more,
PAX Unplugged, and PAX Dev. Yeah.
Okay, so there you go.
I think cumulatively speaking, PAX is the largest show for video games.
Yeah, oh, that easily makes sense. I mean, I went to PAX East, was it last year? And I was like, oh man, what the hell?
Yeah.
This is huge. And it was just, you know, that thing, which I always put in my head like, oh no, that's just a little satellite show. Because back in the day, it kind of was.
Yeah.
But now it's like, no, this is a big freaking show.
Yeah.
And it's also part of the PAX universe. So,
yeah, PAX is no longer PAX Prime. It's PAX West because every other show has grown.
Right. By the way, I always refuse to say PAX Prime. I am from where it was created. My buddy is Mike Fahlauer. We are, you know, I watched him create the fucking thing. It's PAX, all right?
Yeah.
Everybody else calm down. There's no Prime. There's no West. And there's no East. There happens to be East because it's in the East Coast. I get that. But PAX was born here. I'm putting the stake in the sand, which no one cares about. Well, that's interesting. I think that, I think to go piggyback off that is it does feel like more of a social, online community moment. So things that gear and go towards that become successful, right? So PlayStation's experience.
PSX.
Yeah, PSX, right? So that was born out of like, hey, we have a bunch of fans in this community, beyond podcasts, etc. Why don't we build something just for them? That is 100% a community event, really.
Yeah.
I mean, they're selling games, but I don't really feel like they are. I feel like people go to that show because they want to be part of something.
And so, as a former Microsoft employee who worked at Xbox, I think that Sony really understands what it means to be a part of the community, and they understand that people want to feel like they're included, like they're a part of something. And PSX is an example of that. I doubt that PSX is making Sony money in terms of raw numbers. They might sell things like they had exclusives, but that event costs hundreds of thousands of dollars to put on, I'm sure. But the fact is that people who show up to that, they have a brand affinity with Sony that cannot be rivaled by any other manufacturer.
Yeah.
And even if you grow up as a diehard Nintendo fan like I did, you still have to give Sony props for being the quote unquote modern gaming system.
Yeah, it's almost like the Nintendo Power, but like in person.
Yeah,
right. Because Nintendo Power made you feel like part of a thing because you're like, oh, I got the subscription to the magazine. I'm part of the club.
Yeah. Speaking of, I really wish I enjoyed the Nintendo Power podcast more.
I haven't listened to it yet.
It's all right.
I think someone told me about it. I should listen to it.
It's worth listening to, but A, it comes out like once every 3 months or something.
Oh, geez.
And B, it just misses that kind of joie de vivre that a lot of other podcasts have.
I do like the Treehouse though. I've listened listen/watch on YouTube.
Yeah.
The Treehouse.
One of my great joys when I worked at Nintendo back in 2000 to 2004 was going to visit the Treehouse and meet some of the people that did those things. I met Bill Trin and I met A-Train and some of the other awesome people. and seeing the GameCube before it was the GameCube.
Oh, snap.
I saw Luigi's Mansion like way before anybody else, and I was like, oh my God.
You guys understand. It's going to be great. I remember I was at E3 one year, and I saw in a Nintendo booth that guy who does the Mario voice.
Yeah.
This is just a story that came to my mind. He was doing this like live, like he was there behind the screen.
Oh, yeah, the animatronic Mario. Yeah.
There was a Mario that was there, and he was being voiced by the actual...
It's Charles Martinet.
That guy.
Yeah.
But he had to kill time because we were all there, and like it wasn't... Like something happened where like someone was late.
It was basically like the Mario was set up next to the line. So as people walk the line, he would talk to people, right?
Yeah.
Like Mario would talk to people.
Yeah. But then he'd had to keep making stuff up, and I was like, I feel like he's running out of material. It felt weird. It felt awkward. I remember
he's
that.
only got like it's a me and wahoo to go on.
So
he
said that a lot.
It's not very fertile ground.
It isn't. I will give. I'm going to give Xbox a little bit of shout out in the fact that I know some of those guys who do the MVP program.
Yeah,
and they do really join that, like, and kind of adhere and take to that community aspect. Mm-hmm. I was at one event in E3 doing some videos and stuff, and they fed all of their MVPs with tacos, which I love.
Yeah.
And, you know, they had like drinks and performances and stuff, and it just felt like really cool to be there, and you felt like special. Yeah, those are small microcosms.
Those guys are great. Khalil and Brady and Savannah and some of those people that do the Xbox stuff. Also, the Xbox Insiders, which is actually the team that I was on when I was working at Team Xbox, was the Xbox Insider team. And I know some great people on there. I know Bradley Wombat.
Oh, Bradley, yeah, totally.
Wombat Man. He's the head of that team. If you're a Penny Arcade fan, you probably recognize that name from back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
And they're all awesome people, and they work hard, and they love what they do, and they love the product. So I don't want to cast aspersions on Xbox by saying that Sony is a better brand.
No.
But I would say that Microsoft is not as good as expressing the passion that the people there have for the product.
Well, almost more of in a global way, I think, right? Because like PSX is like a global, we are PlayStation, and Xbox MVP and ambassadors and stuff like that. That's incredible, but it's like more, smaller groups and stuff. So I feel like that might be the only difference. Like it's more of a global approach to like everything at PlayStation is everything at PlayStation. You're part of, all the things.
Yeah, I will say that Microsoft does an excellent job of being an underdog.
Nice. Because everybody loves an underdog.
They were an underdog when the original Xbox came out, and they nailed it. Like, they did everything that everybody wanted. They made the product that they wanted. And that became the Xbox 360. And they did a great job of iterating on it and making it and improving it as the time went on. If you look at the original Xbox 360 when it came out and compare it to the Xbox 360 at the end of its life cycle, they're like two different machines.
Yeah, they added all the things. Yeah. They got rid of the original blades and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and they added like Netflix and Hulu. I mean, that was an innovation on Microsoft's part. And it was because they are a scrappy underdog. And now that we have the Xbox One, they're doing more scrappy underdog awesome things. And the passionate people are starting to come back into the fore and do things. And I think that Game Pass is part of that. I mean,
and backwards compatibility.
What a fucking fantastic deal.
I love the Game Pass. Stated K's on there. Yeah. Crackdown will be on there.
$60, $10 a month, and you get every brand new game that comes out that's a first-party exclusive. And you get it not only on your Xbox console, but you get it on PC. Like, you buy the game and you get the PC version.
It's like the buy anywhere kind of Windows thing that was talked about. And this, by the way, is Beam on my computer, I was going to point out.
Oh, yeah.
And so early days, I was part of it as well. Mm-hmm. And we were underdogs as that, and now underdogs as Mixer.
Yeah.
And again, shout out to Mixer, Tips and Tricks, the show that I helped create with a bunch of people over there, including Malik and Ethan.
Oh, Malik. He's the other guy.
Co-hosts. They're going to be on this podcast in about 2 weeks.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
So get them on the show. So anyways, I think in general, shows aren't gone.
Yes.
Community's huge. And anybody who has a big company or a medium-sized company or small company, just focus on your fans, focus on the community, and you should be good. I mean, that's what it's about.
You know, if we want to go back to E3 for just 1 second.
We have 1 second because we're already...
All right.
We're running out of time.
I just wanted to say that I think that the thing that I liked about E3 as a trade show was that it was possible to sneak in. You could be a GameStop employee, or you could work in like the call center or warehouse at a game company, or even just like Fred Meyer or something, or Target, I guess. And you could come in as a retailer and get in and like check out Tony Hawk doing like half pipe moves
but like actually Tony Hawk playing Tony Hawk
or Tony Hawk on his skateboard,
just skating around,
little fake skateboard.
Oh, I hated that thing. God bless him for trying, but man, I hated that.
But you could sneak in and be
right.
just another person. With the new brand economy that's coming around and the thing that E3 is trying to become, you can't do that anymore. You have to show them on your phone how many followers you have before you can walk into one of those parties. And I guess it's like from a corporate perspective, that's great because you're only ensuring that the top of the top get in there. But for like schmoes like me who was working in the call center at Nintendo back in the day that just loved games and wanted to see E3, you're losing out on those people. And those people are the ones who become the influencers. So I think that by ignoring people who don't already have a large audience, you're destroying your future as a company who played to the passionate people who can't do anything now but will do something in the future.
But don't those people just pay money now? They just have to pay money for the community days.
Yeah, but they'll pay money for the things that they care about, and they don't care about things that they couldn't get into.
Right. Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. I remember there was a time period where people were just like making up websites. And in the negative way, right? Not the positive way.
Right.
Like I've got a
50
website.
fake reviews of whatever.
Angelfire.com. And it's like, I make videogames.awesome.com. It's a thing. Or .org.
But those people, the people who put in that effort and really tried to get in there are the ones who are now like community managers
That's
and
true.
marketing people.
That's 100% true.
Yeah, and those are the people that like if they got in and they got to see Namco doing their weird shit that never came out, then they're enthusiastic about Namco and they're excited to meet the Namco people now.
They might be working at Namco.
Exactly.
Impressions are big.
Yeah.
We started the podcast with Butterfly Effect. It's true. Real quick, let's move on to games. We have maybe 15 minutes left, maybe 10.
Okay.
Dragon Quest 11 I'm playing. I want to talk about it half a second on the podcast.
Please. I'm super excited because I have my pile of shame is growing by the day because of the Kickstarter and all it's doing. In fact,
what is on your pile of shame?
I pre-ordered Uncharted Lost Legacy.
Oh, my goodness.
I haven't even touched it.
That's an oldie.
I know, right?
At this point.
God of War. I really want to play God of War.
You haven't fucking even done.
No, don't tell me. Does the boy die? I don't know.
Everybody
don't
dies.
Tell me.
Everybody dies.
Thank
Spoiler.
You. Thank you.
Everything is actually Pac-Man and Donkey Kong. And guess what? You still have to kill the monkey at the end.
Yep. It's gotten so bad, my dad has stopped asking me to play Donkey Kong. That's how bad it is.
Let me tell you what. God of War is one of my favorite experiences of this console generation.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Okay, and the other favorite experience of this console generation? Dragon Quest 11.
Okay, tell me about it.
The short version is this. If you like JRPGs, or if you're like me and have liked them in the past but haven't had one to like got to get into for a while, it's a perfect welcome home moment. You know, you're like, what is good about a good, and again, it's turn-based JRPG. I looked at a lot of the trailers and I thought it was similar to some of the Ni no Kunis of the world and stuff where it's action-based and but some traditional kind of
the way Final Fantasy's going,
like Final Fantasy's going. It isn't. It's traditional turn-based. You set up party members to do what you want. You can, pick their orders, or you can give them orders, or you can have them do what they want and fight realistically, or heal people. So it's old school. But man, when you have grown up with that, like both of us have, and you have been away for a while, it's like coming home. Kotaku has an amazing 2-series video, like 2 different videos. I forgot the guy's name, and I apologize, but I'll put a link in the show notes. He did an amazing video, and it's just like, I don't know, 10, 15 minutes of explaining why Dragon Quest in general is awesome, but also why this is great. Dragon Quest 8, I think, was the last one that we all had in the U.S., and that was PlayStation 2. Fucking PlayStation 2.
Didn't 10 come out on the 3DS?
10, yeah. Okay, we're talking like, I think, traditional style. Was 10 traditional style too?
A console JRPG.
Yeah, console JRPG. I guess handheld, they had a bunch of different variations, offshoots. And 11 was the last one, but that was an MMO, which we didn't get. So, I mean, not 11. What was it?
It was 11. Builders, the Minecraft copy. Is that what you're talking about?
No, Dragon Quest Builders is something different. What's the one that was, now do I have to use the internet? There was the MMO.
10 minutes. We have 10 minutes.
Okay. Well, anyways, there's an MMO. I won't go into it. There's an MMO, and we didn't get that one, but because they didn't want to bring it over.
Yeah.
But we needed a traditional one. That's what this is. What the guys in Kotaku said is 100% right. It's perfect for take a shower, relax, get all ready for bed, jump into Dragon Quest XI. You get some levels, you have that little perfect carrot on the stick moment where like, oh, we just got to a new town. And this person says we should go over there because that person don't want to talk to you, but this person does, and they might help present the story along. And then also, there's a cat suit that you can wear if you buy it, and you've got to sell and buy and sell and buy that RPG mechanic stuff. So you get a bunch of stuff, you buy the cat suit, you talk to the mayor, you level up in the fields against the monsters, and then you go to bed relaxed. Accomplished. And even if your boss is a shit and your world is fucked, you're like, I got that sword, and the mayor knows who I am, and I fucking got that cat suit. Which, by the way, I don't know what that fucking cat suit does.
Crawling around like a furry, and I love it.
You know what? I wish I was, because shout out to everybody listening to this, although I might have figured it out by the time this goes up. I bought a cat suit for fucking 2,000 gold. Have no idea how to do anything with it. I said, put it on the cat suit, and it goes, you can't.
Oh. Well, maybe you'll meet a cat.
Something's going to happen.
Yeah.
Anyways, that's my short synopsis. It is like coming home. If you like RPGs, it's beautiful.
Okay. Wow. That's awesome.
What one thing you're playing that you are playing? Are you playing anything?
So right now, I am not playing. I'm playing Answer Emails and Be on Hold, which is probably my least favorite game. But it's very rewarding.
That game you can't win, by the way. That's a losable game.
I'm also playing Watch the Numbers Go Up on Kickstarter, which is actually really fun.
That's a good game. That's a better game. Yeah.
That's an idle game that I really enjoy.
Have you fucked with Hero Clicker or whatever it is? Those clicker games.
I haven't played Hero Clicker, but I've done some really good ones. If you're willing to bear with me, I can look at my phone history.
You look it up while I bring up something else.
Okay, but there's one other game that I did play that I wanted to mention, which is Minute.
Oh,
that's the game. It's a black and white game.
I love that game.
Where you die every 60 seconds, and I just think it's a fantastic concept. It turns an RPG into bite-sized chunks, so you can play literally for like 3 minutes and make progress. And I love that about it. When you were talking about Dragon Quest XI, I was thinking about like how much I love Dragon Quest I now more than I did when I was a kid, and it's because in Dragon Quest I, it's such a small, by today's standards, RPG, that like you can just get to the next town and you feel accomplished.
Yep. And
the numbers are so low. Like if you do 5 damage and then all of a sudden you level up and you're doing 6 damage, you're like, yes,
that's a big deal. I'm so glad you brought that up. I had mentioned Minute a while ago on my solo podcast, but not on the discussion one. And that is a great, literally a minute. You have a minute to get some stuff done, and you inevitably play like 4 or 5 minutes, right? Because you can't just play one.
You can't. Yeah, it's like a Lay's.
You can't eat just one. But you definitely play it for. You can play 5 to 10 minutes and be like satiated. You know, you got to the new section, you got a new item and stuff.
Yeah, you can play for a long time and still feel just as satisfied too, which is another impressive thing about Minute. It doesn't have to be played in short bursts.
No, it's MINIT, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yep. So check that out. Also, while you're looking for that real quick, I do want to mention to you Polymega. So Polymega is coming out. I just found out about it in I don't know when it's coming out, but it's coming out for $249. It is similar to the Retron. Those emulator type machines, which I know that is a touchy subject around someone who loves the Polymega.
Okay.
Is that right? Yes, polymega.com.
That's a good name. I like that.
And again, we're dealing with Nathan, who is Seattle Retro Gaming Expo. I just say that again. Seattle Retro Gaming.
Just because I have thousands of original copies of games doesn't mean I don't like carrying them around in my pocket.
Okay, so there you go. But this is not even that. So this is a device that, like the Retron, plays those old games. So it's not like emulating. But what's beautiful about it is it plays Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Turbo Graphics. Hello.
What?
Carlos's favorite.
Yeah.
Secondly, it plays discs, motherfucker.
What?
PlayStation 1.
Okay.
Neo Geo CD. I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah. Oh, man, it's terrible.
Okay, well, you can play those terrible games. Turbo CD.
Turbo CD is awesome. Let me say really quick, the reason the Neo Geo CD games are terrible is because they're just Neo Geo games, but with like 3-minute load times.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, imagine playing Fatal Fury, and when you go into the match, it's a minute before the match starts.
Yeah, Neo Geo by itself, back in the day, for you young people, was incredible graphics and incredible just, visuals that you didn't need CD for that. That was just like,
it was beautiful. 330 mega. What more do you need?
That didn't mean anything, did it?
It was, I think 330 mega is megabits, so that translates into 40 megabytes.
That's so crazy.
Which is a lot back in the day. That's almost half a zip drive.
Oh, we're talking zip drives now. Dating us. So anyways, Polymega.com. Here's the thing. They just announced they're also going to play Saturn games.
What?
$249?
That's
how do you not buy that?
Is this a Kickstarter? I don't know. That's kind of risky.
It's already done. No, it's already done. It's being made.
Oh, really?
I don't think it's a Kickstarter.
Okay.
From what I gathered from the trailer and the 1.5 minutes that I looked at it, it looked like it was already being made and you just had to order it.
That's great. Because let me just say, if you see a Kickstarter with something that sounds too good to be true and offers way too many accessories and options for a really, really good price, don't trust it.
Don't trust it.
Go with the established fellas. Pay more.
Right. There's a lot of sarcasm in there.
Hashtag Wooded Realms.
Wooded Realms. So that's my thing. What's your thing that you've been finding?
I'm still looking for it, damn it.
It's gone. It's off. We don't have time.
Gone.
We don't have time. We'll come back to it. Here's one more thing I have for you.
Instead of telling you about the game that I played, can I tell you about the game I wish existed?
Yes.
Okay. It's called Miss Madge's Unemployment Agency for Ex-Convicts.
I'm listening.
So the game starts out with Miss Madge giving you a job as an ex-con. You're coming back, re-entering the workforce. You come in, and the game starts. You are sitting in the air control tower at the airport, and you've got the window in front of you with the airplanes, and you've got a huge control panel with a bunch of buttons, levers, dials, and switches. You don't know what anything does. You just push a button and something happens.
This sounds terribly dangerous and bad.
And you just keep doing that until either planes crash and people die, or you succeed and move on to the next job.
I don't like this game. I decided I don't like this idea.
Wouldn't that be amazing?
I don't know if amazing's the word.
You could be the airport controller. You could be the guy in that weird little house on bridges that turn when trains go over them. You could control the train yard.
Dude, I tell you what, you could also be that person.
Planner.
You could be that person running for the hills because this Yahoo is trying to control everything and he has no idea.
Miss Madge's Unemployment Agency for Ex-Convicts.
Okay, anybody
buy it 6 years from now.
Anybody in the podcast listening can make that right now. You should probably make it a platform game or something. And I think that in general, though, somebody like messing up their job, like being bad at their job, is kind of funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Like that's what
especially when
job
that job
simulator.
Especially when that job involves lives.
Well, that's the part where Nathan. That's the part where it isn't funny. All right. Anyways, real quickly, Rob Mccullough, who a friend of the show, friend of mine on the Facebooks and stuff. We've never worked together. Hopefully, Rob, at some point, we will work together. He's awesome. He's worked on so many documentaries, including the one on Kitty, one of my favorite rock bands ever.
Nice.
He just co-released the He-Man documentary. It's on Netflix right now.
Really?
Yeah, it's like I could have looked it up, the name of it, but I'll look it up right now. But
that would involve prep.
Yeah, well, I'd never do prep. I don't know PARP. I don't know PARP either.
I heard that there's a trailer out for the new She-Ra show on Netflix. I've been meaning to watch that.
What? She-Ra's a new show?
Yeah.
This is
not ashamed to admit it. I watched He-Man and then I watched She-Ra.
Wait, what are you talking about?
They're
So
both
you,
good.
yeah, you
When
were
I
a
was a
fan of
kid.
She-Ra. Yeah.
Yeah, on USA Network.
Why wouldn't you? It's
Right,
part of the same universe.
Right, the same universe.
Yeah.
There was crossovers. He-Man appeared on, She-Ra appeared on Eternia, and He-Man went to She-Ra's world.
I'm not judging you. The Power of Grayskull, the definitive history of He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Nice. It's freaking incredible. It's like, a long documentary on He-Man and how they worked with the toys and all that stuff.
I had the Castle of Grayskull when I was
Did you?
a kid.
Yeah.
I got it. It was my big, it was the what's this behind the couch present?
Oh, I love those presents.
Yeah.
No, we're all done. Seriously, no more to see here. Wait, what's out? I had one where they did it outside the door.
Really? Like
Yeah.
you look outside and there's a present?
Like they were like, I think I saw, my mom's like, I think earlier someone was knocking at the door. which is weird because we don't expect anybody.
And there
at Christmas.
were all these bells jingling and hooves. I cleaned up a bunch of reindeer poop. I don't know what was going on.
She did say that. No, she didn't say any of that. But she did say, go check out. And they opened the fucking door, and there's a present out there. That's pretty cool.
Oh, that is.
By the way, later, real quick, I need to tell a story because I've never told this on the podcast. We're on a tangent, and we're pretty much the show's over.
That's a good name for a podcast, by the way.
We're pretty much on a tangent. We're on a tangent. Okay, see, talking about Christmas presents. Kitty, I knocked you over. One time I got my brother. Should I tell you what the present is? No, I'll tell you after.
No, yeah.
I had money. I just started working at Amazon.com in 1999 because I'm a million years old, and I was
filled with regrets of not keeping the shares.
Yes, I am.
Yeah, me too.
Well, I needed the money because at the time when we sold them because we had to live. Anyways, I was making about $10 an hour, which back then was pretty good, and I was doing well in quotes. My brother didn't know that I was doing probably as well as I was, and I kind of downplayed it, and he wanted
smart move.
Yeah, video games and stuff like that for Christmas. So I had him come over to the house, and we did Christmas in my house. Did all the presents, all small little things, Then I was like, oh, wait, pulled a mom. There's something in the other room, I think. I forgot. Yeah. And then he's like getting excited, which is cool. I bring out this box that was like huge, massive box. And he opens it up, and it's that classic, there's a box inside a box, and there's like fucking,
Russian dolls.
Weird shit inside. He finally gets to the small box inside. He's like, what the fuck could this be? It was the GameCube.
What?
It blew his mind. He lost his shit. I had a picture of it for a while, and it was his just eyeballs were just out of his face. And it was one of my favorite moments.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is awesome.
Because he had no idea that I was doing so well at work, and I never even mentioned it. I knew that was the system he wanted.
So to have this thing just pop out of nowhere, out of 20 boxes.
Out of 20 boxes.
Talk about rewarding effort.
Yeah. I worked on that. All right, one more thing, and we're going to go because we're freaking already over, and we got to do the after part. What can I pick? Night in the Woods. Oh, I want to give a shout out to Tim Heidecker from Tim and Eric. Do you like that show? Do you
Honestly, I've never watched it. I speaking of piles of shame, the new Venture Brothers has started. Not on that yet.
Okay, so Tim and Eric are amazing, and anything that Tim does, I'm into. I want to give him a shout out because, believe it or not, Tim and Eric was amazing. As you and I both know, when you have a company behind you, your shit can be bigger than it really is. It's awesome, but it also gets marketing and freaking commercials.
Right.
Tim and Eric had, was Adult Swim and all that stuff, right? So while that was amazing by itself and Brewers Rules and all that shit, he went to kind of do his own thing now, And one of the things he did with, I want to say Comedy Central, I think that's right, but on Cinema at the Cinema. So him and his friend basically review movies in an awkward kind of way. But then it also tells a story about the two characters who are doing it and their backstory, all weird, angers and frustrations and weirdness, right?
Right.
And they really take it to another level because one of the whole seasons is just them in court because Tim killed someone, that's a whole arc.
See, it is funny when it involves lives.
I guess it is. I guess I was wrong. But so anyway, so on Cinema at the Cinema, find that. But also he's doing this new show that literally has the same amount of viewers as we do, which is,
wow.
Both of us is great. That's kind of maybe not as great for him, good for me. I don't know.
You guys should do a link share.
Well, I definitely want to be on his show. But here's the thing. Anybody can be on his show because it's called Office Hours, and you just call in on the telephone.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, and he's just there.
That's awesome.
Just giving you shit, so be prepared. And then he talks to you and he asks how he can help, and it's freaking great.
There was another podcast like that. I can't remember who did it, but it was essentially it was some comedian like Chris Gethard maybe, where he would just have a phone line open and people would call.
Yeah.
And the one rule was that he could not hang up. He had to wait for the other person to hang up, and it was supposed to be funny, but it became very heartfelt. He had people calling who had depression issues and people who had questions and insomnia. And it just became a much more than just a comedy podcast.
That's what happens when you enter in human lives and discussions. That's what happens,
Yeah.
We're done with this podcast because we have to do the after part. Nathan, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for having me.
What's the website again?
The website is woodedrealms.com. We're still live on Kickstarter. If you look for Second Breakfast board game table, that's 2ND.
Pow.
Yeah. Breakfast Board Game Table. Please do check it out. Tell your friends, not just because I want you to buy the table, which I think you would be happy with it, but because, you know, I did recently get laid off. I like to say I fired Microsoft and started doing this full time.
Yeah.
And I would love for this this is my dream job. I would love to continue doing this. So if you like supporting people's passions and letting people do what they want, consider pledging, consider telling your friends.
This show's over.
Yeah.
But that is it's a good show because it is about humanity and it's about
lives.
It's about lives. It's about creativity and saving lives. Do you want to save a life or do you not want to? Yeah. Twitter ONAWA is me and YouTube.com/C/ALOTOFTHINGS. That's where this video will be, as well as clips from it. Our funny quips will become clips.
All right.
And that will be there. And that's it. See you later. Bye. We got to go. What?
I'm on
Twitter
Twitter at Another Fluke.
I'm
on everything at Another Fluke, and my Kickstarter is on everything at Wooded Realms.
Bam, at Wooded. See, everybody has a Twitter.
There you go.
Well, we have a Twitter too, but I don't need
check out the Insta. Our Instagram is pretty cool.
Insta.
Yeah.
You said you use the short term.
I know. I'm like 20 years younger now, right?
All right. Kitty says this show is freaking over.
Or I'm 20 years older.